everybody, it is hotter than hell itself today, but we are still going to be doing our Stranger Things review. Stranger Things is the new series that's on Netflix, created by the Duffer Brothers, starring Winona Ryder.
The series is based around a young boy that's gone missing. His friends and his mum and the sheriff desperately trying to find out what's happened to him, whether he's still alive.
The series is set in the 80s and it definitely has that very distinctive 80s movie feel to it. You can see where they've taken inspiration from directors like Steven Spielberg and John Carpenter and Stephen King. There's a very E.T. vibe to this whole series, like the plot is very similar. There's also a Goonies feel to this because there are a bunch of young kids and they're all going off on these adventures with no parents, no adult supervision. I think the standout performance in this whole series was from Millie Bobby Brown.
She portrays like her vulnerability as well. She's got all these superpowers.
She's badass, but she still has that vulnerable side. I think the guy that plays Dustin, he gives a lot of good comic relief, which I think is kind of reminiscent of Spielberg.
The series is quite dark in its nature and quite intense, so it's nice to have the comic relief. The series is really clever in the way that it's following 3 different age demographics. It's got the children, the teens, and the adults. The way it's done the teens as well is kind of like a John Hughes film with the 80s tropes from those films, with like the teen falling for the
douchey popular guy.
Yeah.
The teen parties and the losing the virginity and just the complicated relationships that teenagers have. But then also they're the ones that are going out and facing this creature head on. So that's kind of like the thing, like they're coming face to face with this creature. So speaking of John Carpenter, the music from Stranger Things is definitely inspired by John Carpenter's music from his movies. It's very eerie and synthy, and it reminds me a lot of Halloween or The Thing, stuff like that. The music was composed by Michael Stein and Kyle Dixon, and they are part of a synth band called Survive, and they're very cool. You should definitely check out some of their other albums. My favourite music from the whole series is definitely the music that comes in during the titles. It just sets the tone for the rest of the show. It's
very like Stephen King 80s font.
And because it's kind of reminiscent of Stephen King, you know you're in for some scary stuff. Stephen King has actually tweeted that he loves Stranger Things. I don't know if he knows if he's one of the things that influenced it, but he's particularly liked Winona Ryder. I thought Winona Ryder was particularly good in this, but especially David Harbour, who plays the sheriff. I think he plays a damaged cop very well. And I like the fact that they both have kind of damaged pasts. It gives them a nice character arc in the whole story.
Something is coming. Something hungry for blood.
I think they started the show perfectly, because it starts with kind of like a horror scene, and the way it ramps up the tension with the music and the lights as well.
Yeah, it's very poltergeist, the way they're kind of communicating through the electronic devices.
You don't see the monster too early either. It builds on the tension episode to episode. So it gradually reveals the monster throughout the series, and you see glimpses of it. You don't see too much, which is, I think, the perfect way to have a monster in a program or a film.
And when you actually do see the monster, it's not disappointing. Like, it is terrifying. I think it's very inspired by Guillermo del Toro, because it doesn't have any kind of facial features, and I think that makes it more scary because it has no eyes, so it has no window to the soul.
And also, you know when the monster's going to come because lights will start flickering, so it's like,
so your heart's already kind of going.
The pacing of the series is really good. It's not too slow, it's not too fast, it's just the right pace to keep you interested throughout the whole series.
It's beautifully shot, wonderfully cinematic.
The acting in this series is amazing. It's the highest caliber. It's all of the characters are really well acted.
The soundtrack is absolutely amazing.
And for a Netflix series, it was really scary. It was up there with some of the really good horror films.
What score are we going to give this? I'm going to give it a 10. I think it is perfect, and it's probably one of my favourite TV programmes ever. Probably just under Game of Thrones.
It has to be really special to give it a 10 out of 10, but I couldn't think of, anything that was bad about it, so I think it's justified to give it a 10 out of 10. But we don't do that lightly either.
Perfect score. Oh my goodness.
Thanks for watching our review of Stranger Things. If you could subscribe and leave us a comment in the comments box below, please do. And we hope to see you next time on our next video. Bye.
Bye.